Welcome all. In this video, we are going to see a learning management system called Moodle. Moodle is an open source which can be downloaded and installed. This installation requires a server. You can go through the Moodle website for installation process. We won't be covering the installation process in our video. In our video, we will be covering how to add a course to a Moodle website and add students to a course and how to upload contents in our course. So for this video, we are going to use Moodle Cloud. To open Moodle Cloud in a new tab, I type moodlecloud.com. So this Moodle Cloud is available as a free version for a trial of 45 days. It allows 400 MB storage and 200 maximum users for a free version, that is 45-day trial period. After that, you need to select any plans available here under the pricing section and you can go with it. On my right hand side, I have the option to sign up and log in. Since I already have an account, I'll go with login. I click on login. When you sign up to a Moodle account, you create your very own Moodle website. The Moodle website I created is ECE. So it goes by ec.moodlecloud.com. That is what is my Moodle site name. To log in into it, Moodle site name EC and my password which I used to create. Now I click on login. So this is my Moodle account. You can see the URL here. It is my Moodle account, not my Moodle site which I created. So here in this package section, under information, the first option, site name. It shows my site name ec.moodlecloud.com. Once I click on it, it opens a new tab with my Moodle site. As you can see the URL ec.moodlecloud.com. So this is one way to open my Moodle site. Now for now I'll just log out and I'll show you the another method to open this. So I open a new tab. I type my website, Moodle site ec.moodlecloud.com. So this is what is my Moodle site login. As you can see here, I need to enter my username. A point to remember is whenever I sign up and create my very own Moodle site, by default my username is going to be admin because I am the admin of my Moodle site. I am going to add students, teachers, courses, contents in my Moodle site. So I am the admin. So my username is admin, that too in small letters. So I'm going to use the password which I created during my sign up. Now I click on login. So this is my Moodle site. As you can see, it again loads the same site. So I have an introduction to Moodle course which can be accessed by clicking on it. I'll go back. So on my right hand side, I have various options. By clicking on dashboard or my courses, I can list out the courses. By clicking on dashboard, all the courses available in Moodle in my site will be listed out. By clicking on my courses, all the courses in which I am also a part will be listed out. I'll go with site administration. As of now, I click on site administration. So as you can see, we get many options available here. As you know, Moodle is very vast. It has lots and lots of options and features available. We will be covering the important features alone. Please feel free to explore and post your queries regarding Moodle. So here we'll start with course creation. I click on this course option. Here we get the options to manage course, add a category. We'll be starting with adding a category. I want a category to be added under which I'm going to add my course. So I am going to keep it as top. I want this to be a parent category. So my category name is first batch. As you can see, the symbol here, exclamation with a red color, that is what is a mandatory option. So if that symbol is not mentioned for the other options, you can leave it, those are optional. I can add description or course ID if I have. I click on create category. So this creates a category here, as you can see, first batch. Now under this, as you can see, the option create a new course is given, and which is under first batch. I click on create new course. So here I'm going to type the course full name and a short name, FTP. So since we clicked on create new course under first batch, this category is shown here. You can even change it by clicking on this icon. I want this course to be visible, so I'm not going to hide it. I'll let it be as show. I can customize my end date. I'll go with the July. I do not have any course ID, so it's okay. I can add any description here, any message if I want. So moving on to course format, I can even add images, as you saw here. Images can be added here, or any files. Here you can add your files, images, so whatever you want you can add them, any links. Moving on to course format, I click on course format. Here we have various options. I'll go with weekly format since this is a 2-week FTP, and I click on number of sections as 2. And here hidden sections, I want all the sections to be hidden if I chose to be. Suppose I'm working on with week 1, we are only in week 1, and I want my week 2 to be hidden. So this is pretty much the option. This is completely invisible. This makes, if I can even choose it to be a collapsed form, but I think this goes better. I choose this. So moving on to this, I'll go with this. I want all the sections to be in one page. So moving on to this groups icon here. Since we have not added any students to a group and we have not grouped, so we don't know actually what this group is. We'll be adding students and group in the later part. I'll just explain what is this group. Under groups mode, we have 3 options, that is no group, separate group, and visible group. No group in the sense we are not dividing students among themselves, all will be common. Separate group is, suppose I have 30 students and I have created a group of 10 students each, so that makes 3 groups. All the 3 groups will be separate, they won't have any interaction, they won't be able to see each other groups work. So moving on to visible group, even though we have grouped them separately, this visible group option allows us to see each other groups work. So they can even have an interaction also using discussion forum. So that will be pretty much useful. So I'll go with visible group. You need not worry about any other settings. You can click on save and display. So here, as you can see, this is a short name, this is a course we have created, and you can see the number of participants is 0. So I'll show a method to add a student here. I have already added a student to my Moodle site. I'll click on this enroll users. Here I search the name of my student. I select it. Now assign role, I want them to be student. I can even change the options here. I click on show more. Here it gives the options to start the duration and end the enrollment. I want it to be open, so I'm not going to set this and enable and select a date, so I leave it to as it is and click on enroll users. So now as you can see, I have added a participants. So one student is added to a group. You can see here no groups, we have not created groups. So going back to our course, I click on this FTP ICT tools. Actually, this is only one method to add. This is to add students manually. We have another method where we can ask the students to enroll themselves directly. We'll be seeing that in the later part. We'll just see how to add our content. Later on, we can see how to uh, add students by themselves. So again, I click on this icon here and click on this turn editing on. Only by clicking on turn editing on, I can edit my course. I can add contents in this announcement section. You can add any announcement instructions and all to your students. Since we had selected a weekly format, 2 weeks with date and month is displayed. I can even change this to a topic format. If I had selected topic format, I'll just get a section like this. So it is pretty much all the options are same. I can customize it at any point, so it is not an issue of selecting what format of course I want. I can even add course. The number of sections can be changed by clicking on add weeks. Since it is a weekly format, it shows add week. If you had selected a topic format, it will show as add topic. So as you can see, 2 weeks are added. I can again delete them. I click on this edit here and delete it. If I want to hide it, I can even hide it. I click on this edit again. I click on hide. This section is hidden. I can even make them show by clicking on edit and click on show week. It is now visible. So as you can see, we can customize it pretty much. Even if a week is hidden, even if a section is hidden, we can still work on it. I'll show you this. I have hidden this week. Now I can even change the so as you can see, even though it is hidden, we can work on it. It is hidden only for students. If I add a teacher into my course, they will be able to see these hidden things because it is hidden only for the students. It is mentioned here. So moving on to this topic one, I'll change it as Google Classroom. So now I'm going to add materials and activities. I click on add an activity or resource. Here, as the name suggests, we have a list of activities at the top, and at the bottom we have to add resources. So we'll start with adding a resource. I click on file. You can try out the various options. We'll be working on few activity resources alone, but all the things are same. Select one and then click on add, then customize it as per your need. So I'm going to type the name here, intro, file name, a description here. You can give any instructions or any message to your students by typing it in the description. I can even display this in my course page. I click on this tick. If I want, here is where I'm going to add my files. I click on this. So upload a file. I click on choose file. So here I'm going to select a file here. I can even rename this. Now click on upload this file. So as you can see, I had selected a file with name Prezi, but I renamed it as intro. Now it is renamed. So now moving on to the next section, appearance. So here I'll go with pop-up. It is better to go with pop-up to avoid congestion, like server problems, because we have only a limited storage of 400 MB, and in pop-up it opens a new tab. It won't dump it in this particular window itself, so it is better to go with pop-up. Or you can choose any of the option, embed them in this, or force them to download your notes and all. We can even restrict access here. I click on this. By clicking on add restriction, I can select suppose I'll go with date. I can select a date. From this date students must or must not, based on that I don't so this is what is the restriction. I do not need to click any button to finalize this. Once it is, I can change it. So this is my restriction. If I want to remove it, I simply need to do this. Once I click on add restriction and choose the option, so that means it is set as a restriction. To remove it, I need to click on this delete. So now I click on save and display. So this is, you can see if I click on this, it opens a pop-up where I get my this. So I close this. Now moving on to our course again, I click on this FTP ICT. So as you can see, our very first note and the description which I gave, I had put a tick to display it in my course, so it shows in my course page. If I remove that tick, it won't show in the course page. Now I click on add an activity or resource. I click on this assignment. I click on add. So I'm going to type a name, uh, assignment 1. So this is my question here. Create a Google Classroom. So I can even upload files if I want to upload any questions to my students using files. So moving on to the important uh, option here, availability. So allow submissions from when I'm going to allow my submissions. I'll go with, if I set it as any date, from that only date alone students will be able to submit their assignment. Till then they won't be able to submit. I can select any due date here. I can even enable cutoff here. Cutoff is basically to avoid late submission. If I do not enable cutoff, students will be able to submit their work late. That is, my due date is 22. They can even submit on 23 if I do not enable it. If I enable it and change the date as per my due date, then students won't be able to submit them. So this is what is your cutoff. And one more important thing, as you can see, you have a symbol here, the health symbol. You can click on this to get the particular option. For what is this option? As you can see, whatever I said, that is what mentioned here. So even I have an option here to remind me for grading. I can disable it or enable it, so it is as per my choice. So moving on to the submission types, I can even ask students to submit as a text form, online text, or as a file submission. Anything is possible. I can even limit the words if it is going to be online text. Maximum number of files to be uploaded as 2. Since we have only 400 MB, the minimum uh, MB capacity is itself is 1 MB. Like 500 KB and all will be very less, so we'll stick to 1 MB. We can even add restrictions to the type of files we accept. That is up to you. If you want, you can try that also. I click on this submission settings. Here I click on this as yes. I want students to click on a button so that they are aware that they have submitted. So I close this. Now moving on to this grade, I click on this grade. Here minimum grade to pass as 50. I can even add restrictions here. Now I click on save and display. So with this we have created, as you can see, we have created our assignment. I click on this FDPICT to go back to my course. So as you can see, I've created an assignment and uploaded a file. Now I click on add an activity or resource. Please try out this discussion forum also. This is similar to assignment only. Similarly, how you uploaded file, you can upload page URL. We can try with URL. I click on this URL and click on add. I just search a URL here. I'll copy this URL. I'm going to paste this URL here. So here I type a name and I paste this URL. We can add descriptions here. Appearance, we can keep it as in pop-up, or you can embed them in a page itself. You can even have restrict access. Now I click on save display. So as you can see, once I click on this URL, it opens a pop-up with that particular page. Now I click on the course name to go back to my course. So we've added URL assignment file. Now I click on add an activity or resource. We'll add a quiz now. I click on this quiz and click on add. So name of the quiz as 1. We can add a description here. Timing. Open the quiz. At what time I want the quiz to be open. I'll open it on 18th. I want the quiz to be closed on 18th. I'll change the date here. Time here. So now it gives plenty of time for students to attend. Now the time limit, I'll click on this enable to set the time. So even though this quiz is available for pretty much for 1 day, the time period the students can attend the quiz is 30 minutes. So now here, when time expires, it is better to keep this option open attempts are submitted. Otherwise, if you choose some other option, it has the options where the open attempts will not be considered. Now moving on to layout, here we can select 5 questions per page. Moving on to question behavior, shuffle within questions. I want the questions to be shuffled, so I'll keep that as yes. I'll click on this grade here. Grade to pass, I'll keep it as 10 out of 20. Attempts allowed is only one attempt they have to pass. So with this we have seen the settings. We can even try the restriction option here. I click on save and display. If you forget to add any settings, it is not an issue. We can edit it again. So as you can see, the timing from this time to this time the quiz will be open and the time limit is 30. We have not added any questions yet. So to add questions, I click on this edit quiz. So here I click on this add and a new question. We have not added question bank or any question to select from question bank. So I click on new questions. Here I'll go with a short answer. I click on add. So I'm going to type simple random questions. So here I can choose it as case is unimportant. So here correct answer. We'll keep the grade as 100% for the correct answer. And other options I'm going to keep it as empty and click on save changes because only one correct answer, so other options are empty. It depends, if you have multiple correct answers you can add them also. For the correct answer I'll keep it as 100 and you can even set the point there. Now I click on add a new question. I'll go with true or false this time. Now click on add. So here the question number as 2 is Google Classroom a Google product? I know my question is lame, but bear with it. So here default mark, this is where we can allot the marks. If I kept it as 2, the marks allotted for this question is 2. So correct answer is, for true or false I do not need to go with the options, I can directly select it as true. We can give feedback for each of the response here. I click on save changes. Now we'll move on to the next question. I again click on add. As you can see here, 2 marks are shown. Total marks so far is 3. So now moving on to the next, add a new question. So I'll go with a multiple choice this time. I click on add. 3. A point which I forgot to mention is this category. Please note it down. Quiz, you can select this as default for quiz 1. Question as which is a ICT 2. So default marks as 2 and only one answer. I can even change this and I'm going to shuffle the options, answer choices, the numbering of the choice A, B, C. You can change that as well by clicking on the icon. So first option is Edmodo. It is 100% correct. I can even add a feedback here, as you can see, with case your answer is correct, that is also a feedback. So since it is a wrong answer, I'm going to keep it as none. I can even add a third choice and keep it as none. For now I'll just save it, save changes. So as you can see, 3 questions are added. Now I click on FTP-ICT. So here as you can see, the quiz is displayed. Now I click on the settings icon, turn editing off. So this is my Moodle course. I've added contents to it. I hope you enjoyed. In the next video, we will see how to add students to our course. Thank you.